Hi, and welcome again to another episode of The Consistency Queen. My name is Elsa Morgan. Thank you for being here. Today, honestly, I'm just going to have a frank and open conversation with you about what it genuinely takes to build a business that is beyond six figures, that it has generated millions of dollars over time, and a business that is executing on a $10 million plan. And quite frankly, I'm just going to give you some insights as to the lessons that I've learned as a person, the strategies that I know that work in business, the key outcomes that are necessary to monitor in business and in life, and essentially, what really matters. Because I think that particular point, needs to be stressed upon, because there's a lot of people out there that lose sight of what really matters. So let's talk about some of the lessons, because, my company has generated millions of dollars since I launched in 2021. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of women through our programs, thousands upon thousands of women through access to knowledge, events, our book collaborations, our email community, free stuff that we've given away. It's been really profound in terms of the work that we've committed to, what we've executed on, what we've delivered on. And one of the key things that I have learned is that you cannot make any apologies for the version that you are becoming. And I say that because time and time again, what I've experienced as we've evolved as a business and we level up, what tends to happen is that you will have people in your community that will just not like the fact that you are growing, because that makes them feel a particular way. That makes them feel in some way less than, or anything, negative. And so what tends to happen is they project that onto you because suddenly it is your fault that they're feeling this particular way, that they feel less than, that they feel inadequate, that they feel like they're not growing even though you are growing. And so my point is that you can't apologize for the fact that you are making big moves. You can't apologize that you are moving forward and are executing on the plan that you said that you would do. You can't apologize for that. You can't apologize for the fact that you are moving faster than most people, and you certainly can't apologize for the fact that they're probably not doing the work. And so a lot of business owners out there, including myself, it can be very heartbreaking when certain people that you trusted and you loved at one point, or you really cared about, or you've gone out of your way, and suddenly, for no reason that you can really explain, that you are suddenly not popular, and it is not popular to like you, and because of the decisions that you're making, because of the standards that you've implemented for the fact that you've raised them, and that the boundaries are different. And so as a business owner, you have to accept that this is something that will happen. And it's going to happen more than once. In fact, many times over. And you have to be discerning with how much access you give to people, and also at what levels of access as well. And as well as that, going forward, once you've learned the lessons of access, boundaries, standards, how do you move from there? And how do you then separate those that you will allow to be in your inner circle, and those that that you won't? This is an important lesson that any woman, any elite woman that is scaling beyond six figures, seven figures, this is a very, very painful and hard lesson to learn, that what got you started and who started with you is not going to finish with you. most of the time. There are going to be some lifers, but you've got to be prepared for those people that are just going to be a seasoned person or a reasoned person. So for me, that's been one of the hardest things, because I am someone that loves openly. I just genuinely care for everybody that comes into my space. I genuinely have an interest in helping women win, because that's my remit. That's my contract with God, is helping women in mass to achieve the goals that they desire. And for me, this is more than my success. God, if it was my success, I would have stopped ages ago. This is about the legacy that I'm leaving behind, the blueprint that will be passed down for generations. That's what I'm working on right now. And as part of that, you also have to learn that not everybody wants to pass on your blueprint. And you have to accept that. The other thing that definitely comes to mind when it comes to the lessons is that no matter how big you get, no matter how much you can delegate to people, the responsibility of the success of your business lies with you. And so for me, one of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in my business is that I offloaded some very important parts of my business to people that just weren't really aligned with my vision. And what kept happening was they weren't really producing what I needed or what I expected that they would do. And so the output was just not there to the expectation. It just didn't match up. And so for me, I've had to really, certainly over the last 12 months, bring everything in-house, get very clear on what I expect from an output point of view, and then make a hard call that there are just some things I will not delegate, especially when it comes to my messaging. And that is something that is within me and comes from within me. I will never, ever delegate my message, ever. And I did that very early on. I was following wrong advice, and I think I just wasted so much money on something that was really nobody should be delegating, to be quite honest, in terms of your own voice, your own messaging. Secondly, to that as well, is the fact that you've got to get systems in place in order for people to follow them. So you need to be able to put a step-by-step process for anybody that comes into your world, for them to be able to follow. So then there's no awkwardness and grayness around the outputs, the results, and the activities that are generated from each person. You can't measure and you can't control or you can't assess what you haven't set in place for people to follow. And again, because I'm genuinely somebody, even though I may appear like someone that is very much a control maniac, when you actually come behind the scenes, I openly trust people to bring their best foot forward in alignment with my vision. And sadly, that hasn't actually happened. Whereas, for me, if I go into someone's space and they say to me, hey, can you come and speak on my stage? Hey, can you do this? I will double my efforts. I will double my focus and show up powerfully for these people who have entrusted me to come into their space. That's the way that I think. But I have seen that 90% of people that come into your world, and I know that there's also my ability to be able to hire the right people. That's a separate thing, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I've also had to really get good at that, and I've become really, really strict with that. But by and by, you can't expect people to be as passionate about your vision, to be as in alignment with your vision as much as you. And so there has to be sort of like a balance of letting the control go of the expectation that people are going to be as passionate as you, and also understanding that whilst not everyone is going to do the work like you do it, people will bring their own strengths and gifts to your company that you definitely don't have, or that you probably didn't see that you needed, and it actually works out in your favor. But you won't ever experience that unless you allow people to grow on their, in their own space, and allow them to flourish in their own space. So, it's been very much a leadership lesson in that regard. And so whilst I'm extremely passionate about showing up big for other people that give me access, etc. I haven't had, certainly people up until this year, it just hasn't happened. Over the last month, I've attracted a couple of people that have been exceptional, and that's been as a direct result of all the lessons and all the learnings that I have accumulated. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring that up, is that if you're finding yourself in a situation where you are struggling to find team members that are in alignment with you, that really want to work with you, really want to win with you, and really believe in your vision, okay, I want you to take a step back and ask yourself, like, how would I show up for me if I was contracting me? What would I expect of me if I was hiring me? And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but you have to understand that if you're going to bring people in, you've got to set the expectations from the get-go. You also have to make the expectations clear of, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And then also, what's going to be deemed as something that would work really well. One of the key things that I can say as well, without a shadow of a doubt, is that there has to be clear boundaries, that if things don't work out, that there's a parting of ways. And one of the biggest, mistakes or errors or lessons probably that I have made is I have hired people that have gone through my programs before without setting clear expectations. And what's happened to me in the past is that there's been a blur of the lines, and it hasn't ended well. And so I want to share this lesson with you, that if you hire from within your programs, you have to be absolutely clear in terms of this being the right person that you're going to hire. But secondly, is that the relationship in terms of the coaching relationship is first and foremost, and then the contracting side is a secondary arrangement, purely because they have demonstrated qualities that you believe that would benefit your company. Where I've made the mistake in the past is that I haven't set that expectation, and so I've ended up being the bad person when I've actually decided to part company because I just didn't think it was working out. And that's because I'm genuinely somebody that's pretty easygoing when it comes to hiring people and entrusting them to think that it's the right, they're going to do the right thing by you. So if you're someone that wants to hire from within, programs that you've set, so people that have taken your programs and you've seen some qualities that you think that they can bring to your company and add value and really help you move forward. The key thing is that you set the expectations from the get-go, set the boundaries, as well as, which relationship is priority, and then, come to an agreement that if things don't work out from a contracting perspective, what would be the way forward then. For me, all I've ever wanted to do was to elevate women, to help women win. And I also need to speak my truth. I also need to be open and honest about all the things that have gone right, all the things that have gone wrong, which is why I'm doing this episode, because, I don't want people to think that, if you're seeing successful women, that we get it right. We just don't. We get to the success because we've made a bunch of mistakes and taken on a bunch of errors and lessons, and then we just commit to not repeating them again. Even though sometimes it does happen that way, where you find yourself in the same place over again. But the reality is that I've had to really grow in leadership, get very clear in the kind of people that I want to have as part of my, contracting team or any staff, because my vision is so strong and so clear that I'm determined to achieve it. And, most people just don't understand. When you have a vision so big, when you have a desire to really do some meaningful things, like I know people look at me really crazy, and I know that some people even stop talking to me because they just probably think that I'm weird, that I think so big and I have big, hairy, audacious goals. That I've also experienced this year, mean girl stuff, and I just think to myself, it is just so high school. I mean, the level of competitiveness that hangs around women is wild to me, and I just think to myself, like, I'm here to elevate women. I'm here to help women win. And as part of my remit, I will raise and elevate other women, because I believe that we can all win. But the amount of the behavior, the childish behavior that happens with some women is outrageous to me. And I just think to myself, like, that is the reason why I stay in my lane. That is the reason why I stay focused to what I need to do and work on myself. Because I just think to myself, like, if you're not in alignment with me, where you are here to help other women win, I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you if you're not here to to support other women winning, rather than you only being championed and celebrated when you're winning. And that's when you are there, giving love to people because people are giving love to you. No, if you're someone that is going to be claiming that you're there to raise women and elevate women, then show up when it's inconvenient for you. Show up when you're not feeling so great for yourself, and raise women up at that time as well. Show up and celebrate and love on women when you are going through the hardest of times, because when you are on a mission to serve women, or anybody for that matter, it shouldn't be just because things are going right for you. It shouldn't be just because, you feel fabulous and things are going great in your business and you're having the best sex of your life. And then suddenly, yes, now I'm ready to celebrate women. No, if you're someone that is committed to your vision, when you're feeling like bloated as hell and you really don't feel so good about yourself, when you feel ugly as ever, when you're feeling down and out, when your business has gone like down in the toilets, you show up just as powerfully then for others. Because when you're on a mission to serve, this is not about you. This is about them. And so I have to tell you that this year has been one of the most challenging years in business, and I still showed up powerfully. Yes, there were times when my energy was hard as hell. And I've made the statement that I was hard to love because I was genuinely hurt and heartbroken by certain things that had happened. And, but you know what? People that really know me, people that really know my heart, they stood by me and still are standing by me. I quickly became obvious, I quickly became aware, and it became obvious to me that there were people that were seasoned people that I thought they were going to be lifers, and they genuinely just, when I'm good, they are good. But when I needed the support, I was too hard to love. And that is one of the hardest things to learn in business, is that you genuinely are by yourself, which is why I lean on my mentors, because my mentors, honestly, I'm so blessed and honored and grateful that I have the mentors that I have, because they were there and held space for me. People that you keep in your inner circle, you've got to be so careful about who you keep in your inner circle, because if you bring someone into your inner circle that doesn't have the capacity, the maturity, the emotional mastery to understand the challenges, the frustrations, the level of responsibility that comes with building a big business, they will project their insecurities, their negativity, and start making you feel so bad for being where you are in that point in time. And so you need to surround yourself with people that are emotionally strong, that are capable to hold space for you when things are not going so great for you, because this is a lonely journey. If you are the visionary, if you're the one that's building the big thing, people just don't understand you. Like I said before, people think you're crazy. And there's people that have just genuinely stopped speaking to me for no reason, purely because I'm speaking about the big vision that I want to achieve, the big vision that I'm working towards. They find it so intimidating. They find it so outrageous. And so they just don't want to hang around me. I don't care about that, because they've already identified themselves to me in terms of who they really are. And I'm not interested in gaining their approval. The only person that I need to be concerned about is God, because I made this commitment to him. But at the same time, you have to accept that if you want to serve on a big scale, you want to go change the world, you want to serve and impact lives for generations, be prepared, because people will show you their true colors. People will, when they don't need you anymore, they make it very obvious. And it often comes when you need a little bit of support. Then they will make it very, very clear that this is not to the levels that they need. And that's okay, because not only does it make you more resilient and strong within, it also helps you to get good at determining who gets access to you going forward. Who gets access to you? Because you know what? If I was to look at myself, I'm special. I'm a unicorn. I will get back up over and over again. And if I say that I'm going to do it, God damn it, I'm going to do it. I will do it. If I say that I'm going to deliver on something, I may not do it as quick. I may not do it, then and there. I may. Oftentimes I do. But I will do it. And whenever I do anything, I critique myself. I'm always looking for ways to get better and serve better. I'm always looking for ways where I can bring out the best in my clients. I'm always assessing how my delivery is, how I could have done, this podcast episode, this message, or this piece of social media content better, because I'm so committed to change the world. I have this desire to pass on my confidence, my belief, my inner being to all the women around the world, to say, you can do this too. You can build from here. You can start from today. You can move towards your dreams. But to become this version, the one that you're seeing right now, I've had to eliminate 99% of people in my world. I've had, a lot of people that have made themselves very known that they think I'm crazy. I've had people who wanted to be in my circle and then realized that it is a lot of responsibility. And I've also had people that just hate me because of who I am. And you know what? You got to be okay with that too. Because people are just going to hate you for the fact that you're actually going to do something, that you're actually doing something, and that makes them feel a particular way. And so the other thing that I want to mention is you've got to accept that you're not going to be this perfect leader and perfect visionary as you're executing on your plan. You're going to see gaps in your own development as you go along. Be okay with that. And those of the people around you, right, that go on and criticize you and make comments and poo-poo on your performance, you know what? Bye-bye. Because unless there's someone that they are someone that has achieved what I want to achieve, you are noise. You are a distraction. Like you're like a fly to a piece of, what? Because only my mentors who have achieved millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars actually I give attention to. If they give me feedback on how I roll, I will pay attention to that. But it's funny to me how people who are doing not much at all, or who, claim that they are someone on social media and yet they've achieved diddly squat, have so much to say about other people's success or how they roll. So when you're building your business, you have to understand that you are going to learn to become that visionary leader that you see in your mind. And yes, you can show up at that version today. You can, absolutely. But the gap between where you are and that version that you'll become, There's just a little bit of a gap in terms of skill set, mindset, maybe even emotional mastery. And the beautiful thing is that you will get to learn and evolve and grow as you go along. Let people talk about you. Let them say what they have to say. Let them lose sleep over the fact that you're actually doing something whilst they're there poking at you. All PR is PR. And the more that they have my name in their mouths, the better off that I'll be. I'll be cashing money in the bank. I'll be increasing my bank balance. Means while they can sit there with their broke mindset and their negative energy and their whatever else that they have to say, I'll just keep winning. And you have to adopt that mindset, because let me tell you, the amount of people that want to see you fail is wild to me. Why would you want someone else to fail? Why? Why do you want someone else to fail? Why would you prey on their fall? Why would you want that? And so as an elite female, as a high achieving woman, to want to build and achieve big things, if you're wanting to see someone fail and you're claiming you're that, you're not that person. You can't be. The reason why I say that is because, once upon a time, that was me. Pre-2020, I was that woman that would hate to see other women win. I mean, I was successful, but if someone else had the spotlight, it would just eat me up inside. I would just get insanely, crazily jealous, not knowing then that there was some stuff that I needed to work on. That was a representation of me being unhealed. I had no idea. I just thought that's who I was. And I'm not lying about that. That is the absolute truth. Yes, I recognize that I had to do mindset work and I had limiting beliefs, but I had no idea about this, healing with trauma and inner child. That all came into my world in late 2020, 2021. And so since then, I've been on this deep dive of doing inner work, and it's just profoundly changed my life. I love who I am today, because you know why? Who you see right now, that's me. That's the real me. This is the unfiltered version of me, the one that, the no BS. I mean, I am very strategic and very honest and very caring with my clients one-on-one. But this version, I'm telling you the truth. You deserve to know the truth. People will want to see you fail. When you are on this journey of healing and self-acceptance, self-love, because you know how to love yourself and you love who you are, you then hold space and love everyone else. Why would I want to see any other woman or man for that matter fail if I'm someone from love? For me, the math doesn't math, right? I can't see that. But the amount of people that I've seen that want to see myself and other people that are doing good work fail tells me how much work I have to do. Because this world needs love. This world needs people to be able to hold space for them and to give them access to information so they go win. That's my perspective. But you will never ever see me praying for somebody else's downfall. And, for me, to be given access to mentorship is a privilege for me. I don't put my mentors on a pedestal. But I do respect them, and I do love them for the fact that they are willing to give me access to information that has helped them to achieve the goals that they have achieved, which is what I desire. That's why I respect them so much, because they don't have to give that to me. Inviting me into their world is by choice. And so this level of entitlement that lives around so many people, that just because I've achieved certain levels, that they should have access as well. I mean, that's the thing that's going to keep you. That's the thing that's going to keep you there, because the way that you achieve your goals, let me tell you, a brutal honesty here, just get to work. Just get to work. This whole mentality of people wanting to achieve big things but do not much, I don't know who started that movement, but they've sold you a lie. They've sold you a lie. And yeah, you do have to be, feeling great and energetically aligned and have a level of maturity, because let me tell you, to call in big money, you have to have a nervous system that is able to hold it. But more importantly, you also will be exposed to so much of people's gunk and that you also have to understand how to regulate yourself and get yourself back to center, as I say. Because you know what? People will project their stuff, and then suddenly, you're feeling in a particular way. And you have to practice discernment. And if you're not careful, you'll slide down this slippery slope. But the reality is that all the energy and emotional mastery and inner healing that you do, yes, you will be a more peaceful, loving, caring for yourself first and foremost, and for others. Genuinely have a care for others. You can do all of that, but you still got to do the work. You still got to do the work. You still got to show up. And in this day and age, you have to accept that social media is a form of marketing that people expect. This is a baseline now. It's not an exception anymore. If you can't accept that social media is part of the plan, this is not something that is a or it has to be done. It's an and. And so there's a lot of people that say, I just don't want to post any day. I just don't want to post every day. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that, because the buyer is so discerning in this day and age, and they have a level of expectation that is unforgiving because of the amount of people that have sold them furfies and lies and scams, that to gain the trust and the hard-earned cash from somebody to invest in you is going to take you at least 25 exposures, how it is right now. And so if you're not showing up every day, one, that shows to me that you're not treating this as a business, because the trends right now is that showing up every day is a minimum. That's a minimum. And so, and what does it take for you to actually put out some value-driven content that is going to build trust? Mind you, this trust is built over time. So with every single post, you are stacking on efforts. And so by you not even taking the time for just a 5-minute post, are you for real? This is a business that can change your life. This is a business that can bring forward freedoms for you in so many different ways. But more importantly, imagine the lives that you get to impact. Seriously, I can't see myself doing anything else. Knowing that I am here on this mission to be able to impact so many lives, I feel extremely grateful that I get to do this. But you know what? I'm committed to doing the work. I don't see this as work, but the amount of people that just don't want to post every day. They don't want to post every day. They want to watch Netflix every day, which, by the way, I don't judge people that watch Netflix, but you can watch Netflix and build a 7-figure empire. I'm just saying, right? I mean, if you watch Netflix all day and you're not making a cent from your business, don't go saying that businesses online don't work. Don't go saying that, the structure doesn't work. Don't go saying that what you're learning, just doesn't apply to your business. No, you're not treating it as a business. You're not working. That's the truth. Like, let's get clear here. The amount of people that don't want to work on their mindset. I mean, do you really believe that your version right now is going to go and do all things? Because if that was the case, you would already be there right now. You have to understand the version of you today is a filtered version full of limiting beliefs, stuff that you've, come across as you were growing up, from your childhood, from early adulthood, along the way. And you've got to process all of that because everything is energy. And I know I'm doing a bit of a deep dive into this, but we are all energy. And let me tell you, the more that I do this work, if someone is just not energetically aligned with me, my stomach just goes nuts. It just goes wild. It's just my signal, my red flag that no, I have to exit this conversation. I have to remove myself from this situation because my gut is telling me no bueno, right? No bueno. And so for me to get to this level where I can trust my gut to help me make decisions has been about 4.5 years of continuous daily work on myself, my emotions, my thoughts, my beliefs, and I'm still doing it. And so I just want you to know that to go out and build a big business, it's going to require a version of you that you probably don't even realize that you have within you. Because right now you've got limiting beliefs or thoughts about yourself that you probably don't think that you can win. Even though, let me tell you, even though you may have desires or you see images in your mind about what you want to achieve, deep down you go, I don't know if I can really do it. So what happens is because you don't really believe it, then suddenly your efforts, your energy going in is not in alignment with what's required to achieve it. Because you don't really believe that you're going to achieve it. So that's the energy that you bring forward. That's how you show up. And so what tends to happen is you're going to attract those kinds of people too. And what you'll realize is that the people that you've attracted at that level, who are a mirror of you, will either come along with you and grow with you, or they'll only go so far. Because then, as I said at the top of the podcast, you'll keep growing and then suddenly you're not the nice person because you've grown. Let me tell you, I know this sounds harsh, but I want to give you some real truths about business. The other thing that I want to share is that nothing will change more people's lives than you being you. The real you. The unfiltered you, like I am right now. As unfiltered as I've ever been on my podcast. You being the real you not only shows the people that need to see you who you are, because suddenly you're at that same frequency and energy as they are. But also, you also will show up as yourself and bring your gifts to the world by being you. You can't help people to the maximum levels or the levels that people need by you trying to be someone else, because there'll be some things that you're not sure of or you won't come across the right way. Trust me, I've been there. In fact, let me share you a quick story. When I first started in the online space, back in 2015, what I was doing at one point in time is I would grab, like anybody who was earning 7 or 8 figures, I would just grab their post and literally copy their text and then post it onto my social media and put a photo of me. And so those weren't my words. Those words weren't my energy. They weren't my thoughts, but they sounded great. They sounded amazing. And I sounded amazing. And so then I went to an event and people who had met me there said, you don't sound anything like you do on social media. And so that gave me the awareness that, okay, maybe I need to stop doing that, because, I was developing a brand that wasn't authentic to me. And so there was a level of distrust. There is nothing that will grow your business more than you showing up as you and trusting in yourself that your voice is enough, and trusting that your knowledge, your gifts, and your heart, let me tell you, your heart to serve, if you lead in with your heart, I don't think you can fail, because you can still deliver imperfectly. You can still fumble your way. Your people will see you and hold space for you. There is no expectation that you deliver on your vision with perfect precision. You can strive for it, and that's okay, but you just have to roll with it, because we are all learning how to grow this thing. There is no real textbook, and even though there's a lot of information out there about how to do this, everyone's journey is unique to them. So there's going to be a playbook that applies to all, but then there's another part of the business that's unique to you, and you've got to be okay with that. The playbook is mainly like strategy, and even then, strategy will work depending on your level of maturity, emotional mastery, and commitment to the execution. Like, how committed are you to stick with it? So there's an element of you that will play a part in the success of a strategy. But by and by, who you are, what you stand for, the energy that you bring, the desire to keep going, your heart, all play a massive part in the impact that you make in this world. Nothing will replace you. Somebody can come and try to be you. They're not you. Like, the amount of people that I see that take my posts and try to replicate, I celebrate that. I go, wow, thank you for I'm honored that you want to do that. But eventually what I would want to see is they develop enough courage to develop their own voice. That's what I want to do, is help women to just own their voice, because your voice is enough, and you are enough, and you can go and do this, right? And I know I've mentioned this before, and I'm gonna close off with this. Just get ready to work. I don't know why people don't want to work for themselves and their dreams. People are prepared to go and work for somebody else, 9 to 5, let this somebody else dictate their income cap, the amount of leave that they can take for their family, the amount of progression, who gets to get promoted, who doesn't get promoted, who gets access to training, honestly, it's rubbish. It's not that I'm anti-establishment. I just think, can't people see that you're being limited? Whereas building something for yourself, you get to dictate what you do, how long you do it. And it is for you. Why wouldn't you want to give it your best shot? Why wouldn't you want to give it your all? Why wouldn't you want to go all in and have a season of no and see where you land? Why wouldn't you want to invest in yourself to learn how it's done? Why wouldn't you want to just, burn the boats and go live your life and create the business that you want that's going to fund your dream life? Why wouldn't you want to do that? The mind boggles for me how many people want to be comforted by safety and have a guaranteed check, and yet they want this far off dream of living, oceanside and travel whenever they want, and then wonder why they're not there. The reason why I'm here is because I burned the boats. I decided, hey, I'm going all in, and I'm going to be me, and I'm going to show people who I am. I'm going to show them what I do. I'm going to teach what I do, and I'm not going to stop until my last day. Why? Because that's what I said I would do. And if you worked with this conviction, with this determination, with this drive, you would be here too. And it's because you just don't want to see the possibility, because you know that in going to see the possibility, you're going to screw up along the way, and you don't want to have egg on your face. Well, it's this need to be perfect and live this perfect picket fenced life where, there's no problems or anything like that here, and you are there living perfectly, that you get to live the limited life. I'm not saying that people that have got jobs live limited lives. I'm talking to the women out there that want to live life on them too. I'm talking to you, because I have some amazing friends that have corporate jobs that love their jobs, and I celebrate them. I'm happy for them. They love what they do, and that's okay. But for those females that want more, listen, get out of your way. Get out of your way. And if you're someone that, hates seeing other women, win, right? Or you don't want to do that inner work, get to work, because it's that kind of energy and negativity that's going to limit your progress. So as you're doing that, just get to work. Get to work and be fueled by the vision in your mind. Align yourself with mentors that actually know how to do this. And, commit to a strategy long term. The amount of people that have already changed their strategy this year more than once is wild to me. Like, how on earth do you expect to win if you don't go all in on your plan? How on earth do you expect people to buy from you, to invest in you, to trust in you, if you don't even trust yourself enough to just stick around when the going gets tough? If you don't even trust yourself enough to see it all the way to the end, why would anybody want to invest in you? And so my message to you is, if you want to live a life on your terms and you want to travel and travel wherever you want to live this life where you just pull up your laptop and just have a cup of coffee and, you're making money, to be making 4 or 5 figure days every single day, to be able to, I take my kids to school and then pick them up, and then, we travel on weekends and we've traveled overseas and all of this sort of stuff. To get to here is a level of commitment most people will never ever understand, but that's what I want to do. And I love what I do. And if you want to do what I want to do, then you got to see the levels that I do. But then don't get all weird on me if you think that I'm too obsessive or I'm too this or too that. You go ahead and park yourself in your corner and just live it with the life that you have right now. And I'll go out and help the women that do want to do this, because that's what it takes. And so when you're ready to do the work, when you're ready to let go of any sort of limiting beliefs or anything, you feel any particular way about seeing other women winning, like God forbid another woman should win, right? We should all be winning. All women should be winning, full stop. We should all be winning. You know why? Because we're here, we're alive, and we have all got our individual gifts to win. Why wouldn't you want to see another woman win? I mean, seriously, if you're someone that hates to see other women win, I pray for you. I pray for you that you achieve a level of happiness, because you need love, and I'm sending you love. Seriously, I just don't understand how other women don't want to see other women win. And so when you're ready to get to work, and when you're ready to get committed, and when you're ready to see your vision through, and you're not going to quit on the days that are hard, or you're not going to quit when the seasons are challenging, because you're going to get a challenging season. You're not going to give up on yourself when your decisions in recruiting and staffing, or a strategy didn't go to plan, or anything like that. You're not going to quit on yourself. You're not going to quit on your dreams. You're not going to quit on your family. You're not going to quit on your clients or anyone else that you've committed to God, right? Because that's what it takes. But if you are not prepared to just commit to the outcome no matter what comes, this is the key. You've got to commit to the outcome no matter what comes. You've got to go through the journey to get there, and you're committing to every single piece of growth, evolution, leveling up, people exiting, lessons, heartbreak, stuff coming your way, hate, all of that will be part of the journey to get to the ultimate version of you. That's what you're committing to. That's the biggest lesson of all. And so if you understand that, then you're ready. But you've also got to commit and really make the decision, because this is not a journey for all. This is a journey for some. And so if you are the chosen one, you'll get it. You'll understand it. And so I hope this has served you. Just some truths. The unfiltered version of me coming to you and telling you exactly how it's been, because you deserve it. And at the end of the day, If you have come this far and you're still listening to this, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of my world. Thank you for being a part of my community, because it is you that I'm serving. It is you that I wake up for, strive for, work towards, my highest level of me for. And I'm celebrating you, because some of the things that I've said may not have been easy to hear. But I want to tell you exactly what it's going to take, what exactly you're going to experience. And then on a final note, what I will say is that it's all worth it, because the version that I am today, I wouldn't give her up for anything. I wouldn't. Who I am today is the best version that I've ever been, and I'm proud. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I've achieved. I'm proud of the work that that I've done with my clients. I'm proud of the wife that I am. I'm proud of the mother that I am. But more importantly, I'm proud for loving me the way that I do. Because once upon a time, I really hated myself. And to get to this level has taken a lot of work. And those that see me now and know who I really am, thank you. Thank you. This is for you. And so I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you for being here.